Good morning, everybody. How is it going? It is great to be here. Great to see you guys here. Brady excuse me, Barap. Chris Kinberg, what's happening? How are you guys doing? Let's see, turn this light up a little bit. I don't know if that, whatever. Anyway, who's the Islander? There he is coming in hot from Victoria or Vancouver Island. I love it. Um, yeah, how's everybody doing? We're gonna Oh, wait. I got to get my microphone for the podcast part of this. Boom. There we go. Roger Heard, what's happening, man? Bruce Kennedy, how are you doing, dude? There we go. I'm going to get this thing going. That's my little mic for the audio version of this. There's my mom. Hey, everybody say hi to my mom, Suzanne Spradling. I love you, mama. How are you doing? Joel Dubois, good morning. Dave Kessler, good morning from Muskogee, Oklahoma. Wow, you're all over the place. I'm in 100 Mile House this morning, heading to Prince Rupert for work. Right on. Garrett Anderson, Bike Vault, what's happening, man? Great to see your YouTube channel. Thanks for sharing that. Mike Webster, TJ Karen, Eric Bryan, what's happening? Very much looking forward to our battle coming up soon, Eric, in Oklahoma. It's going to be awesome. Yeah, it's going to be super rad. Let's see. 1 second. Just trying to get everything squared away so that we can have all our questions ready and everything. Yeah, quick before we officially start. The weather has been awesome. I think I am going to ride tonight. I hope I can. We'll see how things go with work and all that, and the weather. Hopefully, it doesn't get worse. But it's been raining, and there should be zero dust. Jeff Bear, what's happening? Um, um, yeah, Jeff or Eric, you're riding Zinc Ranch. That's awesome. I'm stoked. You guys getting ready? Let's see. All right. Well, let's just do this. Welcome to the Gospel of Two Wheels, everybody. Number 153, where the coffee's hot, the bikes are fast, and your comments are absolutely ridiculous. Mike Coles, what is happening? Just watched the GP mount vid, looking to replace my Pro Shot, but that one looks not what I want. But thanks. The GoPro, yeah. So Mike Cole, we just put a new video up. It's a new GoPro mount for on your chin. It's from Dirty J Designs, I think is actually the company. It's called the Chinster mount. To be honest, I don't love it either. Mike, I highly recommend the Dango mount. I've had nothing but good luck with that thing. Shane McNabb, what's happening? And the Dango mount, you can, I found a way to secure it. Like if you were racing or you just want to make sure it doesn't fall off and you don't care about pulling it off and back on, you can zip tie through anyway. It works really good. So Bruce Kennedy, so no lingering effect from the head injury? No. Fortunately, that was short-lived. For you guys watching, if you haven't seen my other videos or you haven't heard, sadly, I threw away a chance at a championship this last weekend by crashing in the team race and hitting my head really hard. So that sucked. And yeah, bummed out. Honestly, don't know what happened. I mean, I sort of kind of remember the crash, but I just hit a rolly rock and just went down bad. There's Dub DZ. What's happened? No Pro Heroes. Bike Vault. Yeah, I got my Dango this week. It's the best. I haven't had anything else even close. The Chinster thing is kind of a neat idea, but whatever. It requires sticking things to the helmet that are snaps. They're like locked into place. So that makes it like, I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to test it for them. They were nice enough to send it to me and ask me to test it. So I'm definitely going to do it. Going to give it a fair shake. It might be the right solution for some people. It's not for me. I take my camera off my helmet all the time and talk to you guys and talk to whatever. So it just doesn't make sense. So yeah, sorry guys, I botched the championship. I don't know what happened. I don't know why it was such a bad deal. I just like towel slapped. I think my feet hit first and whack and my head hit down, and that's what made it such a bad deal on my head. Happy to have my Fly Formula helmet on during it. Saved my bean, I think. I really do believe in those helmets 100%. I think they're really, really good, really, really safe. I think in something else, it would have been not good. Who's the Islander? What did I finish overall? I ended up third in the championship. So that's two two missed races and still got third. So Dubbed Easy, So Pro chin mount, not bulky like the Dango. I like that. Also, No Pro Heroes. I just don't like the fact that the So Pro is great. I just like the Dango because I can whip it off, talk real fast, put it back on, go. I can clip it to things. It's, it's, I don't know. For me, the Dango makes more sense. And then when I'm racing and I'm running water in my helmet, I have a chest mount, but and the So Pro wouldn't work for that either because it would be in the way. But they're all good. It's all, like I said, it all depends on what you do and what you like and how you do it. For me, the Dango works the best. Bruce Kennedy, Dango fits the pro influencers best. Roger Hurt, thank you. I know there's no need to be sorry. It just bummed me out. But I'm still happy with the third for the series, so that's not bad. That doesn't bum me out. And like my mom says, if you're enjoying this, hit the thumbs up. And Roger, I completely agree. I probably should have just brought the 125. I don't think the 300 is what was causing the problem. I probably would have done it on the 125 too. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. It happens. Life moves on. It's, there's Barnado. There he is. That's the man, the myth, the legend, 50A champion right there coming in. Mike, it was great to see you out there. Sorry that you had such a bad crash and hurt yourself, but I'm glad you got up, finished, and made it through. It was a great race, guys. The Webe series this year was awesome. If you haven't ever raced, I highly recommend racing one of the Webe races. I think they do a good job. It's a fun series. Anyway, just check out weberacing.com. It's awesome. So, Roger Hurd, yes, lack of talent. That is exactly what happened. I ran right out of it. And Brady, I wouldn't have crashed on a 4-stroke. Yeah, I know. Shane McNabb, the teabag chin mount. Joel Dubois, thanks. I'm glad I'm okay too. Smiley Hanson, good to see you here, man. Chris Nelson, make Ruth famous. Let a dog like the taste of your watch. She does like the taste of watch. She's hilarious. Let's see. Bike vault, I wouldn't have gotten that far in a forest. Yes. Oh, I love you guys so much. All right. I actually have a bunch of questions from the interwebs. Hey, shameless plug real fast. Shameless plug. If you guys are interested, I am getting some of these mugs, these Yeti mugs, made with our logo on one side and dirt bikes on the other side. If you want one, I'm only doing the dirt bikes on the one side for one run. If you want one, email me at morgan@highland-cycles.com. We're pre-ordering right now. I'm not ordering them yet. We got 23 sold already, which is awesome. They're $45. That allows for the price of the mug, the customization, shipping, and for me to make a little bit of money. So it does help me out, and it's an awesome mug. It's my favorite mug. It's pretty cool because when you tighten this down, you can it's all good. So anyway, I love it. If you're interested, whatever. If not, I don't care. But it does help me. I think they're awesome mugs, and they should be cool. So let's see. Chris Nelson, head is okay. Thank you so much. Jimmy and I Hart, what is happening? Jeff Elmore. Chris Kittenberg says the Dango mount doesn't like the Massey helmet. That's true. It did end up on the ground. That's awesome. My mom says I keep skipping. I don't know if anybody else is experiencing that. It shouldn't be. I'm on the right Wi-Fi and everything this time. Jimmy Nyhart, I'll buy a cup, but you have to use it and not wash it. I will do that, dude. Nightheart, you buy one, I'll do it because yeah, that'd be hilarious. Because I am having them all shipped to me and then shipping them out. So there'll be a little special something in there too. So Barnado says all good here. Sorry, Mom, it's probably you. Well, not you. It's probably your internet connection or something like that. All right, let's get to some questions because they're good ones. First of all, Garrett Anderson says, how many fingers am I holding up? I'm going to go with 3. Um, Chris Kimberg says Tad is skipping very little amount. So hopefully, I don't know. The internet's dumb. We all know that. So, and if you guys are watching this later, hopefully it's not at all bad. James Tully, what's happening, dude? What is going on? So Garrett Anderson, I'm saying 3 fingers. Ronnie Nelson has 2 questions, and I like them both. What's a better enduro/trail bike? Yamaha YZ250X with Recluse and other mods, or KTM 300 XCW TPI stock? Honestly, that is a really tough question. So I really don't like the TPIs. I guess I would have to, for those 2, I would choose the YZ250X. Partially because the money, partially because it's got a carburetor, partially because it's got a Kickstarter, partially yeah, it's a wicked bike. It's got great suspension, all that stuff. It doesn't have electric start. That's a bummer. It doesn't have a counterbalance motor. That's also a bummer. Because I mean, Ronnie, first of all, Ronnie, thank you for all your support. I really appreciate you. Kevin O'Loughlin is, by the way, Kevin, hi, how's it going? Is this TPI channel? But like, I made my decision when I had a YZ250, which was basically an X after my modifications, all that stuff, and an electric starter put on it. And I had a 300 with a carburetor, but the new motor and all that stuff. I chose my 300. I sold the YZ. I chose the 300. I just don't know about the TPIs. I'm just not sold. And the YZ, a brand new YZ250 is real nice. And we just set that one up for my buddy Andy Thompson, who was racing with us in Pajarito, and he had he loves it, and he got burned real bad on an early version of the TPI. Had the thing would not run no matter how many times he took it back to the dealership, all that stuff. Brady, I sold the YZ to buy Ewan the KX100 because I hadn't received the other one back yet, and so we needed to get him a bike, and I needed the money, so I sold the YZ to get it. But Dan Malone, what's happening? Garrett Anderson, TPI channels over with Kyle. I love it. Dave Kessler, I heard the 23 fuel injection bikes are going to be throttle body injectors. Will be by the Reed block. I have also heard that, Dave Kessler. That will be better, but if it still doesn't have a Kickstarter and it still doesn't, I don't know, not that. Yeah. Brady says the green Kool-Aid is so good. I agree, man. I like Kawasaki's. I don't know about KXs. They tend to kind of break, but Brady doesn't ride them long enough or even enough to cause any problems, so it's never a problem. Let's see. Lots of Dualtron. TPI love to overheat, massively overrated. I agree. Bike Vault. Thoughts on the, I'm guessing you mean Ox brake, not Oz brake. If you're going to get one, the hydraulic one is it works better. The adjustment and stuff like that's kind of a pain in the butt. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the Ox brake. I don't like left-hand rear brakes. I don't see the need, nor do I. Anyway, so Jimmy Neihart, I like Cowies. They keep Zach employed. Also, I like Cowies. I mean, my kid rides a KX100, so I mean, it's a 2-stroke Cowie, so different. So yeah, Ronnie, I guess I would say YZ between those 2 bikes. If you put those 2 bikes in front of me, I'm going to choose the YZ. Also, Ronnie asks, buying Nitro Moose bibs for my 21 CRF 450 RL. He runs Dunlop 606 tires. What PSI should I order? Can I sell them to you? Blah, blah, blah. So order the stiff ones because it's a heavy bike, and it's a dual sport. And then he asks, so that's the platinums. And then he asks, also, would you recommend having 2 sets of wheels, 1 tubes, 1 mooses? Yeah, absolutely. If you can afford it. If you're going to do a big long dual sport, like with a lot of road, then slap the tubed ones on. If you're going to do trails and stuff like that, put the moose ones on. I don't know if that makes sense financially to you, but yes, if you can swing it, I 100% suggest that. And Ronnie, yes, I can sell them to you, maybe depending on which ones you need and whether or not they're in stock. I personally have a bunch in stock at the shop, so I might be able to help you out. I hear that the distributors are out. I just checked. I got Brady some coming. Hopefully they're going to be there today, Brady. And we had to kind of hunt around, but we found them. So let's see. Joel Dubois, thinking your viewership would increase with more videos dedicated to individual reviews of bikes, products, etc. I know you're busy, but maybe increase revenue for your own channel. Yeah, Joel, I agree. I just need to, first of all, the whole bike thing, people have to loan me motorcycles to review. So, because I can't afford to buy them, because that doesn't make sense financially until I'm making a whole bunch of money on the channel. But I agree. I think I'm actually starting to do more like individual videos again, like on certain fork seals, certain reviews, things like that. Trying to get that done because I agree with you. But I had, like I just did DL 650. So if you're a V-Strom 650 rider, I have a fork seal video coming out tomorrow at 4, I think. Anyway, it's done in the can, ready to go. But Roger heard my 06 Cowie is great sitting in the garage. Your 06 Cowie is a 2-stroke, so it's a good one. Jeff Elmore, I heard no more 2T bikes will get stickers in California starting 22. What a dumpster fire state. Jeff Elmore, I could not agree more. What's sad is that it's such a beautiful state and it's full of really wonderful people that live not in the cities. I met Jim Rupp and his wife the other day. They came through town. They live in the Central Coast near Paso Robles, near Smiley Hansen. And they're wonderful folks. They ride dirt bikes and have fun and whatever. And so much of California is like that. The problem is all the people in the city are idiots. Just saying. No Pro Heroes, love my TPI, never overheats, 200 hours, no problems. So that's the thing, everybody. That's one of the things about TPIs I've found is that some people, like Wes, have 0 problems and they love the bike. It runs great, no problems. And then other people with the same bike, same mirror, same everything, same setup, have tons of problems. And so I want KTM to figure it out. I really, really do. James Tully, I have not started the XR650R rebuild. I got to order parts for it yet. Hey, Paul Anstey, what's happening? You are late, but it's good to see you. Better late than never, right? Brady Metter, V-Stroms are rad. I agree 100%. V-Stroms are, I love V-Stroms, honestly. I've owned a DL 1000. I would totally ride a DL 650. I just don't have a need for that much of a street bike in my life right now, so it doesn't make sense. But I'm a huge fan of V-Strom, both 650s and 1000s. I think they're great bikes, really good bikes for the money, like really good bikes for the money. Especially you can buy an old one and they're awesome. So let's see. Still waiting on the cage match. Oh, don't worry, Hoos Islander, it's coming. They're busy painting their house and all kinds of stuff that they just bought. So it's yeah. Anyway, and yes, Brady Metter, I do like a 4-stroke. By the way, hold on, everybody. I just want to say, I just got to show you guys what Brady Metter sent me. He sent this to me. He paid his good, hard-earned money, which I know he works very hard for, and sent me that. Let's see. Plus a T-shirt and a patch and a sticker. So Brady is all talk. Thank you, by the way, Brady. I love you very much. Paul Anstey, my 07 V-Strom will never die. You're absolutely right. Garrett Anderson, I love it. TPI is is good 60% of the time, every time. I love it. Let's see, make sure I don't miss anything. All the city folks are moving into Colorado, pushing real estate way high for us mortals. Bruce, you are dead on with that. Brady's sending me pictures right now of him on a two-stroke, which I think is awesome. And James, the hat is awesome. I'm gonna have to be very pick and choose when I wear it because it does have bad words on it, but it's so good. I love it. Let's see. Okay, I got another question here from the interwebs and DubDeezy. I know you got a question. I'll get to that here in a second. Bruce Kennedy, the sheets aren't making room for Kevin yet because Kevin is living at the shop, but and I'm trying to get Kevin to stay at the shop, but we'll see. So Ken, and I wish I could pronounce your name. Ken's a long-time subscriber. He may be watching right now. I know he will watch eventually. It's Lefebvre. Left. I don't know, dude. I'm botching that, Ken. So anyway, after rebuilding a top end on a two-stroke, it's a KDX 200. Do you have to bleed the air out of the cooling system? Is there a bleed screw on the head somewhere, or do you just fill it and go? So you do need to make sure you get the air out of it. The way I do it is I fill it, shake the bike, fill it. Okay, make sure it's good. Fire the bike up. Usually by running it, it will bubble any air out when you leave the cap off. And that's why that's one of the reasons I always leave the cap off when I first fire bikes up after I rebuild them. So I can see make sure the coolant's moving and get any air out. So that's how I do it. And then also, should I put thread lock on head bolts and base bolts? No, you don't need to do that. I've never put thread lock on those. Try to torque them on a two-stroke. It's really hard to torque the base bolts. The head bolts you can if you want. I just make sure I get them nice and tight. So let's see. All the nightmares seem like oil pump failures. Yeah, hopefully they get that issue dialed, says No Pro Heroes. See, did he put those stickers on the throne at Rampart? No. So that company that makes that hat is WeBigInc.com, and they're freaking awesome. So let's see. Keith, I will get to that question. It's a great question. Let's see. Make sure I'm not missing anything here. Okay, good. Chris Kinberg, real fast. Question about episode 4, Ride the World. Would I be interested if I brought a taco guy out to cater for us? Heck yes, Chris Kinberg. I 100%, 1000% want you to do that. So let me know if I need to help with that. But yes, Chris Kinberg, taco guy, at least one night, if not all nights, and for the rest of my life. So, all right, that's all the Facebook things. But here, Dub Deezy asks, just replace my front wheel bearings and there's still a small amount of play. Do I need to replace the spacers too, or perhaps, or WTF? He's got a 2020 300 XEW. I hate to say this, but it's the DPI that's causing it, Wes. Oh, sorry, I just had to say it. That is really weird. And I don't know why that would be. I really don't know. Is it play like, if the wheel's spinning this way, is it play side to side, or is it when you hold the brake and you rock back and forth? Because that's weird. You shouldn't have to replace spacers on a 2020. I haven't replaced spacers on my 18. I've got different sets of spacers for different sets of wheels, but anyway, I'm running old spacers. So I don't have any play. So I really don't, unless the only thing I can think is if you didn't get the Dualtron Dream to check the hubs or worn or out or how far out the race sits. So yeah, I don't know if it I don't know. I've seen people not get the wheel install, and Wes, I feel like you probably got the wheel install correct, but if you don't, put the axle through, tighten the axle, the big nut down, loosen up the pinch bolts, do the bouncy thing, tighten it all. And maybe if you didn't get that right, which I gotta believe you did, but I don't know. So I'm not sure. Keith McQueen, who is the fastest guy I've ever ridden with? That's a great question. And it depends on what, I don't know. So I didn't ride with, I rode next to him, Johnny Campbell. And arguably, like being on the same trail at the same time, Johnny was probably the fastest, especially like just dead speed fastest. Roger Hurd absolutely was the fastest, hands down. So, but I wasn't like, we weren't hanging out. We did talk and whatever and ride whatever, but we weren't like on a trip together. So I don't know. I don't know. But yeah. So anyway, I don't really count that. So I'm trying to think. I'm trying to really think about who the fastest. So I've ridden with Travis Newbold. He is one of the fastest. He's a crazy man. The yeah. Real quick, No Pro / West Eats. I think the spacers have gotten grooves. So the spacers can have grooves from the seals, but that shouldn't give any play. Like they can be grooved on the outside I mean, just like almost all the way in, and there should be no play as long as the inside is good and that the outside, like they haven't gotten squished, right? Which they shouldn't because they're steel. So it shouldn't be this, like those grooves in the spacers have nothing to do with it. If you can find a machine shop, they may have a rock lanizer that will roughen the ID for the hub and increase the interference of the hub. For a while, Bruce is talking about fixing the hub. I can't believe that the hub would be worn out on a 2020. Like, Wes, maybe the wheel bearings didn't sit flush. That's another thing that could have happened, Wes, and actually it happened to me. That's a great. I'm glad you mentioned that because I forgot about this problem I had this years ago. So I installed wheel bearings into the front wheel of a KTM. It's an old one, but I put those in, and I used like the driver to drive them in, and I put it all back together, tightened it up. Everything was perfect. Rolled out. Customer came back a week later. He's like, "Hey man, there's play in these things. The bearings go bad." I'm like, "What the?" And so I walked out. Sure enough, there's play. I'm like, let's take a look. And as I started taking it apart, I realized like nothing was tight. Like, well, the pinch bolts were tight, but the axle wasn't tight. And I'm like, what? And so here's what had happened. As I hadn't gotten the bearings to seat all the way down in the race, like as far all the way down. So there's just some tiny little amount left. I didn't get them in. So when I tightened up everything, it put pressure on the outside of the bearing, and then it, as they rode it, squeezed it in, which then gave it room, which then felt like play. So all I had to do to fix it was reinstall the front wheel, loosen everything, tighten it down. It was all good. Shane McNabb, crap bearings. That is a possibility. What bearings did you use? But that was the thing that happened to me. And like I said, I just I loosened up the pinch bolts, tightened the axle nut down, did the whole wheel thing again, and it fixed it. Dualtron, if a bearing has seized, it can spin the outer race, which can wear the hub. Absolutely. Dualtron 100%, but I mean, that's a possibility, Wes. I don't know how they came out. I don't know how you've been treating your bike, although Dualtron, I know Wes sort of. I mean, we've met and talked, and we've been internet friends for a long time, and I think he takes pretty good care of his bike, so I kind of doubt that. Let's see. Okay, thanks for the thoughts, guys. I'll try to tighten the wheels, see if that solves it. If not, I hope the hub didn't get screwed up. Yeah, I also hope that. Let's see. And then Jimmy Neihart says, "How did you beat the old ones out? If you're not careful with the old ones, you can like tear the hub up on the way out." Roger coming in with the Rotella comment. Did you use Rotella on the bearings? I love it. Oh man, what else, guys? Oh, so back to the fastest guy I've ever ridden with. So Travis Newbold's fast. I've also ridden with Eric Roten a number of times, and he is, I mean, crazy, crazy fast. He's qualified for national enduro crosses. He's fourth, I think, was his best finish in a national enduro cross, right behind David Knight. So like, ridden with him, he's super, super fast. Brady Metter, is one of the fastest guys I've ever ridden with. Um, let's see. There we go. Brady Metter comes in with Shane Watts, David Knight, Mike Lafferty, Cole Kirkpatrick, Russell Bobbitt, Dan Bradshaw, Trampus Parker, Ben Spees, Colin Edwards, and the Hayden Bros are some of the fastest guys I've ridden with. So Brady is, first of all, Brady's awesome and does lots of cool things with lots of people. He also lives in Oklahoma, where a ton of those guys come and ride and race. And he knows Shane Watts and all those guys. So, and then being in that part of the country, you get to go to cool races where those guys show up. I guess I've also ridden with Russell Bobbitt. Not ridden with Cole, although they're coming very soon. So yeah, anyway, there we go. I highly recommend you check out Travis Newbold if you ever get a chance. That guy he's a legend and one of the fastest humans I've ever met ever. He just doesn't take racing as seriously as a lot of people. So he's not like, he's won a ton of races, but he's not like famous in that way. Let's see. There you go. Roger Hurd went pre-run with Danny Hamill. Yeah, buddy. Danny was so fast. Let's see. Oh, no pro. You use Pivot Works. Pivot Works are not awesome bearings. So, but that's not why you have play on a brand new one. Kevin O'Loughlin has ridden with Brady. Also, I love it. Yeah. So Brady, you need to meet Roger and talk to Roger and hang out with Roger, because Roger comes from a very long line of very fast desert racers, and like has spent a lot of time. So Roger is the reason I got to meet Kendall Norman, and I got to see Johnny. That was another time I got to meet Johnny and talk to him. So yeah. Anyway, might have fucked the hub up. Excuse me. Might have messed the hub up, Wes. I'm a bozo in the garage sometimes. Who knows? To be determined. Fair enough, Wes. If you did mess the hub up, Bruce had a great suggestion. Also, you can get really creative for a while until you can afford to buy a hub. I've seen guys take soda cans or beer cans and cut a shim and put that in there and get all kinds of redneck with that to tighten it up. So it happens. Keith McQueen rode with Jimmy Neihart. I rode with Jimmy Neihart too. The problem is, Jimmy might be one of the fastest guys. Problem is, he rides a TPI, which reins him way in, and he gets beat up on by the carb bikes. To crash hard enduro, JB weld them in there and worry about it later. Yes. Oh, Crash Hard Enduro wins the internet with that one. Nice work. That's awesome. Guys, if you're watching this thing and you're having fun, back out of the chat, hit the thumbs up, and come on back in. We can run this thing a little bit late today, guys. I don't need to be at the shop super early today, so it's good. Dick Burleson and Malcolm Smith also nice. Jimmy Neihart. I'm just here for a good time, not a long time. I love it. Roger Hurd coming in, rode with LR, which is Larry Rossler, also a ridiculously fast individual, like ridiculously fast. So, yeah, I'm trying to think of anybody else fast that I've ridden with. I don't know. I spent a lot of time in Western, well, I guess I got passed by Taylor Robert at a race. So we weren't really riding. Oh, what am I talking about? Okay. He's never going to watch this video. And if he did, he'd be super mad at me for not mentioning him earlier. But I have ridden a lot with Fritz Cadlick. Fritz in enduro and off-road world is one of the fastest ever. 6 days, 6 gold medals, top American one year. Yeah, I mean, Yeah, I don't know why I didn't think about Fritz earlier, but Fritz is probably the fastest person, definitely the most decorated person I've ever ridden with, other than, I mean, like I said, being near Johnny Campbell, but like Fritz, yeah, Fritz is the main, was just an absolute beast. And when I started riding with him, he was still a beast. Um, now that the border's opening back up, we'll have to come down and show you a thing or two, CC, right? Yes. And someone asked earlier about shipping to Canada. No, it's too much of a hassle right now. Yeah, whatever. So sorry, but since CC Wright's going to come down, he can bring them back up to you. Let's see. Crash Hard Enduro. How does a slow guy like me work on getting fast? Crash Hard. So a lot of people are going to jump in here and they're going to say tires and gas, which is the first thing I always say. Is work on tires and gas. Just, lots of seat time, ride. That only goes so, that's really, really helpful and definitely what you need. But that does only go so far. At some point, you got to start working on technique. I highly recommend balance training, also like figure 8 drills, circle drills, like precision drills, because if you can get your muscle memory to be where you can control the bike really well, you can go faster. So there's a lot to it, but that is one way. Who's Islander? There you go. Learn to go slow first. Let's see. Pack Racer 316, the fastest guy I've ever ridden with, Brady Metter. There it is. There you go. Roger Hurd, gas and tires. I like it. Kevin O'Loughlin, yes, Fritz does own the Gunnison Motorsports. Let's see. Roger Hurd says he rode with Ricky Brabeck. Definitely fast. Super fast. I waited for Lafferty during an Enduro. He was a few rows behind me. I stayed with him for 0.2 seconds, one turn, and he was gone. Oh, man. That's probably because you were laying on the ground, Nyhart. And so, yeah, Crash Hard drills are really what make the big difference. A lot of, seat time gets you to a point, and then doing drills, and it's super, super annoying. And it's not much fun, but it is how all the really good guys get fast. Keith McQueen, that's another great tip. Ride with faster people, for sure. Race a class up. Nightheart, you're awesome. Need to have someone push you out of your comfort zone. We do that at the DIRTWISE classes. Yep, absolutely. And again, like working on the drills, because DIRTWISE is going to tell you to do drills. I mean, he's got circle ruts and all that stuff. That's Shane Watts, by the way. And it's, like I said, doing those drills and getting your muscles to know what to do in certain situations to where you don't have to think about it, is what really makes a huge difference. So, Roger Heard, my mom will not be making muffins for New Year's. She's making muffins for the Gold Rush, but not for New Year's, unfortunately. Crash Hard Enduro says everyone I ride with is faster than me. That's awesome, man. No Pro says I recently learned that my cornering needs a lot of work. Absolutely. Kevin Doyle, what's happening? Gnarly crash, Morgan. Glad you're okay. Thank you very much, Kevin. It was a gnarly crash. Like I said, the quick note about that crash, though. The thing I'm really happy about is that I still put a heater of a lap in and did not come in very far behind the pros. I was starting on the C line because I was racing with my little dude and another C rider that lets us team race in the C class. So obviously I jumped out ahead of everybody and I caught and passed like almost everybody else before we got back. So I feel really good about the speed I had that day. I just made a huge mistake. Jimmy Nyhart, dude, I'm good not being super fast and work on Monday. I get excited for post-race junk food. Yes, Jimmy Nyhart. I like it. I obviously want to go fast. I race motorcycles. So that makes me clearly I want to go faster because I want to win races. But for me, honestly, I like putting really good laps together. I like putting turns together. I like making it really enjoyable and look good and feel good. Which is again why I'm so bummed about my crash, because that's what I've been doing all year. with no big crashes, no big issues, and having really good results. And I'm just mad at myself for making that mistake. It's a bummer. Garrett Anderson, yes, a sandbagging the C class, 100%. Muffins for Gold Rush, but continuers if you're coming to OKC. Right on. My mom, I love you, Mama. So yeah, we're going to Arizona, so there will not be there. Let's see. Any more questions? Oh, yeah, Brady, that's a great question, actually, and this will be the last one I talk about before I head out. Thoughts on the OHV ban in Silverton? So honestly, I'm a bit torn. And I'll tell you why. So the downside to that, the huge downside to that, is it's going to keep a ton of people out of Silverton who used to go in there and spend money, and keep a lot of people's businesses open and profitable. Those people are not going to go there anymore if they can't take their OHVs down the road. So Brady says, I heard it was all because of the evil dirt bikes. So that's not true. That is so not true. And if you ask any cop up there, any local person up there, I'll get to why it happened. So that's the really downside, is that the business owners, the local people who used to make a living on those OHV people, are going to really struggle and have to figure things out. So I hate that. The ups, I don't know if it's upside, but the reason they did it, and I can't blame them, is that because idiots, excuse my, calling everybody idiots, were raging through town in their side-by-sides and four-wheelers and just making asses of themselves and causing lots of trouble. And they got tired of it. The cops and some of the other people got super tired of it. And I kind of like, well, I mean, I don't blame them. They don't want to deal with that. They don't want to deal with idiots raging through town, causing wrecks, hurting people, running over kids. I mean, I don't know, because there's a ton of people that come up on the train every day, get off and spend money too. So, I mean, there's a lot of revenue without that. But so those people are just walking through town. They don't have a vehicle. They're just walking back and forth. And yeah, they should pay attention, but it's hard to pay attention when a 150 horsepower side-by-side comes sliding sideways around a turn. So I'm bummed about it, but at the same time, Garrett Anderson or whoever said it first, the cool thing is we can plate our dirt bikes relatively easy here in this state, and then be legal and ride right through town anyway. So it doesn't really matter. It's way less of a deal for us than it is for the side-by-sides and four-wheeler people who can't do that. Colorado doesn't allow you to do that. So, yeah, I mean, I think they screwed themselves, excuse my language, but they did. And it's going to be far reaching. We'll see how long it lasts. I mean, I don't know. It may not last forever because of the business owners there. We'll see what happens. Bruce Kennedy, I think they limited the side-by-sides to off Main Street, but welcome to designated route. I don't know, Bruce. I think they're stopping them outside of town now. Like, it's bad. Yeah. And the side-by-sides was trying to public forest, and we could go on and on about side-by-sides. I don't want to go down the negative rabbit hole here on the gospel of two wheels. It's not my thing. Well, it can be my thing. I get sucked into it, but I don't want to. But like I said, the upside is dirt bikes can be plated super, super easy in this state. And we offer that at Highland Cycles, making that all really easy for you if you'd like. I will be plating my 300 this year. I got to get new plastics and graphics for that thing, since the crash didn't really hurt too much. It bent my radiator back. It did break the shrouds, but it's time for new plastics. Unfortunately, I can't get Sean McCormick to sponsor me plastics and graphics, so it's going to be a big number to get all that again. So I'm going to wait for a little bit, but I'll get it done. So yeah, anyway, I guess the key is the upside to dirt bike. The downside to dirt bike, like the whole thing, is that my kids who are not 16 just can't do it, period. right? I mean, my kid on the KX100 cannot go, so that's a bummer. Let's see. Kevin O'Loughlin says we were just in Red River, New Mexico a few weeks ago with our side-by-sides, and they have designated routes to get through around town to the trails. Kevin, that's what I hope that Silverton is going to do. They kind of had that before, but people weren't obeying it, so they just got tired of it and said no. Again, I don't blame them. If you're not going to follow the rules like that, anyway, they just shut it down. So I would like to think that maybe they could do that. And Brady Matter says KO is dead to me because of the side by sides. That's awesome. Garrett Anderson says, if you do ride through town, make sure your bike is in order. The sheriff is kind of a tool. Yeah, I go on and on about that. Many more hits to your head and you'll be riding a side by side. No, Bruce Kennedy. I get sucked into it too, but F them freaking side by sides. CC, right. All right, guys, I got a boogie. It is now getting late. Jeff Cheeseballs, what's happening? I love you guys so much. Thank you for joining us here for this Gospel of Two Wheels number 153. You guys are rad. I desperately hope that what we're doing here at Highland Cycles is inspiring you guys to work on and get out and ride your dirt bikes.